So today I am going to tell you what I chose for my 6th grader's language arts, her math, and her handwriting. We do science and history together and our Bible, so I will share all of our family subjects in a separate video, and I will probably be adding to our plan and tweaking it all summer, so probably before we start our school year, I'll let you know what the final plan is. But for now, this is what I have got. My name is Rachel, and I am a homeschooling mom to 3 kiddos aged 7 to 14. And on this channel, I share just all kinds of homeschool stuff. And such is the case today. It's 6th grade curriculum for next year. Leave me a comment below. When do you start thinking about your curriculum for next year? I'm curious. I feel like I start thinking about my curriculum for next year as soon as the school year starts. So is anybody else like me? And also, when do you usually make those final decisions? Because I gotta be honest, this is early for me. I don't usually make decisions until June or July. I like to think about it, feast on the ideas, chew on it, see if it tastes good, spit it out, see if there's something else. So this is pretty early for me, but I'm pretty confident in my choices. Who knows? If I go to a homeschool convention this year, God help me if I see something else that's also intriguing. But for now, this is it. So if you watched my math comparisons video, you know that we switched her over to teaching textbooks this year. There was a reason for that, and I'm going to kind of do a broader review on teaching textbooks in a future video in the next few weeks. But for now, just know we plan on sticking with teaching textbooks. She's really enjoying it, so I will talk more about that in that upcoming video. For handwriting, she wanted to switch to the good and the beautiful. I am going to make her finish the current handwriting book that she has. I am not of the mind where you have to finish the book by the end of the school year because everybody goes at different paces, and quite frankly, if she's gonna be doing like a large handwriting assignment for her language arts, I might let her skip handwriting that day. So we do that sort of stuff all the time. So I only bought her one handwriting book from The Good and the Beautiful to kind of remind her how to write her cursive letters. And then if she gets through this, which I'm sure she will, it's not very much, and my little one gets through this in about a semester, I have a ton of pre-script handwriting books that I purchased from Classical Conversations. So I have a ton of those. We haven't finished them all. I will just supplement with those as she needs them. If these are the types of videos that you like seeing from my channel, make sure you give me a thumbs up. Yeah, do it. So if you happen to watch my 1st grade picks video, you might already know that I really loved Masterbooks Language Lessons for a Living Education this year. However, my daughters were both a little bit jealous of my son's language arts curriculum, which was The Good and the Beautiful, that I had to switch him to that mid-year for various reasons, but they were super jealous. So every time my son was doing an art project or something fun, they wanted to do it with him, and so they practically begged me this year to switch to The Good and the Beautiful. That is the main reason that I switched, and I may do a comparison between The Good and the Beautiful and Masterbooks in an upcoming video, but the main reason was because this includes art and geography. Here's the other thing. If you have watched any of my other videos, because I did a video on a spelling curriculum for my daughter, I'm not sure what to do. She tested into level 4, barely. She was kind of like, could have went to level 5. So since I went ahead and just backed her up to level 4, I decided I'm gonna just see how the spelling and the punctuation, I'm just gonna see if all of this can work for her. And if it doesn't, then I will probably just get a reason for spelling the next level, because we did really enjoy that curriculum this year. But I'm gonna see how this works out. And one of the other reasons why I actually did want to switch to this year was because Masterbooks did not include sentence diagramming, and this does now. Some of you may be like, who cares about sentence diagramming? In fact, I hate it. I love sentence diagramming, and here's why. Sentence diagramming forces you to think about the parts of a sentence, the parts of speech. It forces you to think about how a noun is being used, how a verb is being used. And when you are forced to think about that and then diagram it out, you don't realize this, but you're actually improving your own literacy. Yes, you're becoming more literate. I read the book, The Core by Lee Bortons, and in one of the early chapters, she talked about Thomas Paine's Common Sense. It was a very famous pamphlet that he wrote prior to the American Revolution. And that pamphlet was written for a 17-year-old to be able to read and comprehend. Well, I'm telling you, if you read it, you might have difficulty following it, understanding, because we as a society now are kind of illiterate. Our reading skills, our proficiency is not what it was back in colonial days. And so sentence diagramming can help you understand more quickly more complex sentences. So yes, you may be able to read a picture book or an autobiography from YWAM, and you may be able to understand that. But if you ever get into more complex writing, this is going to be helpful for you. And let me just tell you a little tidbit, because I was a trained essentials tutor from Classical Conversation. I already have experience with sentence diagramming, which is probably another reason why I love it, because I think it's so fun. Because I was always, every week in class and with my children at home, we were diagramming sentences. I found that when I was reading the Bible, I would see a subordinate conjunction like so that. And I would immediately start diagramming it in my head, because sometimes in Paul's epistles, I'm telling you, look at them. They are long sentences now. And so if you have a subordinating conjunction, for example, then you have to know, well, that's a dependent clause behind it. What is it referring to? And it can help you interpret scripture. Yes. Did you know sometimes scripture is taken out of context? So anyway, those are just few brief reasons why sentence diagramming is awesome. If you were to switch to the good and the beautiful in a later year and you have no prior sentence diagramming experience and you feel kind of behind the 8 ball in helping your students with this, there is a resource that you could find on christianbooks.com for sure, probably any other online bookstore also. I actually, whenever I'm looking for books, this is just a quick note, I always check Thriftbooks first, and I have a code below for Thriftbooks too for a discount for you if you've never used Thriftbooks before. Thriftbooks is generally used books, but you can sometimes find them really gently used, barely used, and get a great discount. So anyway, this diagramming book that I'm talking about is called Diagramming the Scriptures. It's like a manual to teach you how to sentence diagram, and it's using scripture to do that. So if you want to learn scripture, or you love reading scripture and you'd also like to learn this skill, then that might be an enjoyable resource for you as mom, or add on to your children's curriculum, because we often like to load up at the beginning of the year, don't we? Okay, so I'm going to do a more in-depth look through of this level 4 and show you how it works. I'm not going to flip through every single page, but I'm going to look at what does this week look like? Because even though I've looked at this online and I flipped through these books, I myself am curious, what does a week look like? What does a day look like? Have I really thought through this? So we're going to think through it together. But this is the extra book that it came with, the spelling and writing workshop. So my daughter's going to get a little bit more writing experience this year. I did also buy her the readers that went along with the Good and the Beautiful. This is the personal reader. It's pretty thick, so we'll see how that goes. I'm going to I think I'm going to give my kids a reading challenge this year, where they can choose some books themselves, and then they're going to have books assigned to me, and then we're going to put together some sort of system, I guess, where they have to earn things like screen time, video games, their Xbox. They're going to have to earn that by reading books. So we'll see how that goes. And then I bought this biography book that went along with it. And this one has the Eric Liddell story, Jesse Owens, tennis twins, so Louis Braille. So it has these biographies in it. Make sure you subscribe for our upcoming family subjects video. And if you have a high schooler or you're interested in what I chose for high school, that video is coming up also. Make sure you give me a thumbs up if this is the sort of content that you like to see. Thumbs up is a really good indicator for me, and it's a great indicator for YouTube to make sure they show my video. In a smaller channel, I can use all the help I can get. Until next time, bye.